Perfect. There we go. And we're live. Hey, everybody. It is Jack Heald, the dad you wish you had. And as best as I can tell you, the 16th. Sorry for being a little bit late this afternoon. I continue to have ongoing technical issues with some of the services that I'm using, cross-posting to Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time. We'll get it worked out. So, as we begin, I wanted, once more, as we do every time, I want to pause, take a moment, and drink a toast to this present moment. Let's give thanks that we are here, that we are alive, and that we can do this together. Coffee. Hey, this is my first day in over a week that I haven't felt like I'm on the borderline of stepping into the darkness of death. And that is because today's episode is brought to you by Rockwood Natural Medicine Clinic. My doctor, Thomas Krizel, has kept me alive for the last 15 years with some brilliant, brilliant medicine. He is not an allopath. He is a naturopath. Back in 2006, 2007, when my health was failing and all the allopaths also failed me, Dr. Krizel brought me back from the brink, and I'm not exaggerating. I've had a nasty head cold or flu or something the last week, and he made me some sort of magic elixir that has me feeling alive again. So thanks to Dr. Thomas Krizel at Rockwood Natural Medicine Clinic, I can breathe through my nose again. Wow, that feels good. All right, today we're going to talk about women, life, and lessons that I have learned. I've had 2 long relationships. I was married for 25 years. That relationship gave me my 4 children, of whom I am immensely proud. Those are my treasures. I would literally take a bullet for any one of them. I've got 7 grandkids now. I would take a bullet for any one of them. Those of you who have children and grandchildren know what I'm talking about. There is no greater joy in life than to see your children succeed. And mine, all 4 of them have. The mother of my children was a brilliant mother, but we just were not good together as a couple. After that, I got into a long relationship with a nurse who was a magnificent caregiver. We met when I was at the depths of my illness, and when I got healthy, the relationship got sick. So there's a lesson there, guys. There's a couple of lessons. For me, the first lesson is if you are not healthy, if you are not as healthy, body, soul, spirit, financially, mentally, socially, then if you get into a relationship, the chances are very good that when you get healthy, the relationship itself will no longer work. My last relationship, that long relationship I was telling you about, ended about 2 years ago. It ended because I was healthy. Not because I was sick, but because I was healthy. The relationship needed me in order for it to work. That's not a good foundation for a relationship, okay? So if you want to be in a relationship with a woman, be a healthy man. You will make better decisions about the women that you want to be in relationship with, and you will have better relationships. Why did my first relationship fail? Well, there was a myriad of reasons. The biggest one was that I had 4 children with her. The secondarily was I was 19 when I got married. And frankly, with very, very, very few exceptions, that's way too bloody young to be making that kind of commitment. We know now, we didn't know this in 1980, but we know now because there's been so many advances in neuroscience, the human brain doesn't fully develop until we're about 25. And the part that develops last, strangely enough, the frontal cortex, which is the executive decision-making part of our brain, until that's fully formed, don't go making life-altering decisions like getting married, joining the military. I don't want to open that can of worms. I understand it's a great thing for a lot of men. It's a very good thing. It brings discipline into the lives of people who need it. But it's not for nothing that we send 18 and 19-year-olds to war, because by the time they're 25, they're smart enough to know that's probably not a great decision. All right. Some of the things I have learned about being in a relationship with a woman. As a rule, men are interested in ideas and objects. Women are interested in relationships and people. As a rule, there's outliers in both genders, but in the reality is that by and large, as a man, you're going to be way more interested in talking about ideas, concepts, and abstractions than any woman is. And if you're that kind of man, and most of you are, and you try to get into a relationship with a woman expecting her to provide you an intellectual foil for your ideas, your thoughts, and your abstractions, you're probably going to be disappointed. This was by far one of the biggest disappointments that I had in both of my relationships. My first long relationship was a very, very, very tremendous facility with language. I love language, and of course, being in a relationship with someone who was good at language really scratched an intellectual itch for me. But she had no interest in abstract ideas. She had no interest in the kinds of meta thinking that fascinated me. Like most women, she was much more interested in the practical aspects of life. That's not a flaw. That's not a failure. It's a very good thing. But I expected things from her that, frankly, it was foolish to expect. Not her fault. Not her fault at all. My fault. I didn't know. I was 19. I was dumb as a box of hair, and that's what I wanted to have happen. So don't expect a woman to be your intellectual foil in your relationships. That is not the thing that most women want or are particularly good at doing. Shouldn't surprise you that you're not on it. They're not likely to be good at it. My second relationship, the woman, she liked to think she was good at those kinds of things, but like most women, she was not really compelled to follow logical arguments from beginning to end. Like most women, she tended to pull her points from a myriad of different directions, and whether or not those points supported any individual argument were kind of irrelevant to her. I believe this is a function of evolution. Women tended to evolve to be gatherers, whereas men tended to be hunters. Women are focused in a myriad of directions all at one time, whereas men tend to be single focused. This is an emergently evolutionary feature. It is not a flaw. It is the way evolution designed us, if I can use that particular term. Again, the fact that she and I were not able to mesh in that area is not her fault. It was my fault for expecting it. I expected things of that relationship that frankly, she wasn't created to do. She wasn't involved to do. Her biology was not for. So what I have learned in my 58 years of relationships with women is those types of relationships where you're going to get involved in deep intellectual conversations, hashing out the abstractions of principles and ethics and how we should live. There are very few women who are interested in that or capable of sustaining it for a long period of time. As it happens, the people that I have those kinds of conversations with, those deeply satisfying conversations, are men. And as it turns out, two of those men are my own sons. I've raised two intellectual foils for myself. Both of my boys love those kinds of conversations. We talk we talk economics, we talk theology, we talk big ideas in science. And we love doing it. And men, you know what that's like, to have an intellectual foil for yourself. My best friend is just like that. He challenges my ideas constantly. But don't expect that from a woman. Now, I know some of you guys have found that. And I could not possibly be happier for you. And I won't lie. I would love to find a woman like that. I really would. But I no longer expect it. I'm going to close with something I used to tell my clients back when I ran big software projects. At the start of any big project, the clients had some expectations, and our job as the vendor was to deliver it. So I would stand in front of my kickoff group and I would tell them about the definition of stress. And I would stand in front of a whiteboard and I would draw two lines. I'd draw one line down here and then I'd draw another line up here. And I would click on that subscribe button so you're notified when the next video hits. I try to do it every afternoon about this time. We'll talk to you tomorrow.